What secrets might one of the world's most admired personalities hold? What surprising revelation did Mother Teresa make shortly before her death? In this video, we will delve into the unexpected confessions of the iconic figure of Mother Teresa, uncovering a mystery that could forever change our view of the Saint of Calcutta. Mother Teresa captured global attention like no other. Her tireless commitment to the poorest and marginalized in Calcutta made her a symbol of love, compassion, and charity. One of her most powerful statements reflecting her deep convictions is, "The greatest threat to peace is the cry of the unborn child." This thought, although controversial, reveals the firmness of her convictions and her commitment to protecting life in all its forms. Throughout her life, Mother Teresa became a symbol transcending religious and cultural boundaries. She was a prominent figure who, through her unwavering faith and dedication, touched the hearts of millions of people around the world. She created the Missionaries of Charity, an organization that continues her work by providing support to the most needy in various countries. Despite her impeccable public image, Mother Teresa faced moments of inner crisis and doubt. In her last days, she shared a revelation that could radically alter our image of her. This secret, kept hidden until the end of her days, reveals a more human and vulnerable side of the Saint of Calcutta. Mother Teresa, recognized as Saint Teresa of Calcutta since 2016, presents a complex and multifaceted public image. She was widely praised for her altruistic dedication to charity, work that earned her the renowned Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts to combat poverty and suffering, seen as obstacles to peace. Throughout her life, she was celebrated with numerous awards and honors, securing a permanent place among the most esteemed figures worldwide. Many Catholic faithful revere her as a saint and seek her intercession. Despite broad recognition, Mother Teresa was not free from significant criticism. Some raised concerns about the quality of medical care provided by her organization, suggesting instances of forced baptisms on deathbeds as forms of unwanted conversion, and she faced controversies related to colonialism, racism, and connections with public figures of dubious reputation. Mother Teresa remained silent for a long time, but shortly before her death, she decided to share a startling secret. Mother Teresa's journey in India began with her birth under the name Unveil Gongshe Bojakshu. Born on August 26, 1910 in Skopje, then part of the Ottoman Empire, she was baptized the following day. Later, she considered August 27 as her true birthday. Mother Teresa was the youngest child of Nicola and Drunafile Bojakshu. Her father, politically active in the Albanian community, died in 1919 when she was just 8 years old. From a young age, she was captivated by the engaging stories of missionaries working in Bengal with selfless dedication. At just 12 years old, she decided to commit to a life of religious service. Her firm decision to pursue this path was further solidified on August 15, 1928. While kneeling in prayer at the sacred shrine of the Black Madonna of Letnis, a regular destination for her spiritual visits. At the age of 18 in 1928, she decided to leave her family environment and travel to Ireland to join the Loreto Monastery in Rathfarnham as part of the Sisters of Loreto. The main goal was to learn English, the language used for teaching in the Sisters of Loreto schools in India, where she hoped to serve as a missionary. Sadly, she never had the opportunity to see her mother or sister again after her departure, as her family remained in Skopje until 1934, before permanently moving to Tirana. In 1929, Mother Teresa arrived in India, beginning her novitiate in the peaceful town of Darjeeling, located among the imposing Himalayan mountains. It was here that she deepened her knowledge of the Bengali language and began teaching at St. Teresa's School near her convent. May 24, 1931, marked a significant moment in her life when she took her initial religious vows, inspired by Saint Teresa of Lisieux, the patron saint of missionaries. She chose the name Teresa, but since another nun had already selected that name, she adopted the Spanish variant of the name to honor her. Her vocation took definitive shape on May 14, 1937, when she made her solemn vows while serving as a teacher at the Loreto Convent School in Entally, on the outskirts of Calcutta, adopting the title of Mother as per Loreto tradition and dedicating nearly 20 years to the institution, becoming its director in 1944. Despite her love for teaching, Mother Teresa was increasingly troubled by the rampant poverty in Calcutta. The Bengal famine of 1943 and the episodes of violence during the Direct Action Day in August 1946 deepened her need to assist the most destitute. In 1946, during a train journey to Darjeeling, she felt a compelling inner call to dedicate herself to the poor of India in the name of Jesus. This urge led her to request and receive permission to leave the school. In 1950, she founded the Missionaries of Charity, choosing a white sari with blue borders as the uniform for the order. On September 10, 1946, Mother Teresa experienced a profound spiritual enlightenment, which she described as the call. She undertook a spiritual retreat at the Loreto Convent in Darjeeling, and it was during this time that she was struck by a strong intuition. She needed to leave the convent and live among the less fortunate, assisting them directly. She felt this was a sacred mission imparted to her by the divine, a mission she could not refuse without feeling guilty towards her faith. Joseph Langford, who later founded the Missionaries of Charity Fathers, noted how, although little known at the time, Sister Teresa transformed into the figure of Mother Teresa. From 1948, she began to dedicate herself to missions among the neediest, replacing her convent attire with a simple white cotton sari, characterized by a blue border. After acquiring Indian citizenship, Mother Teresa completed a basic medical training course at the Holy Family Hospital in Patna, preparing herself for her commitment to the impoverished neighborhoods. Before fully immersing herself in supporting the neediest and the hungry, she established a school at Moti Hill in Calcutta. In early 1949, she was joined by a group of energetic and determined young women who together laid the foundations for a new religious community dedicated to serving the poorest of the poor. Mother Teresa's extraordinary efforts soon caught the attention of the Indian authorities, including the highest levels of government, such as the Prime Minister. On October 7, 1950, she received Vatican approval to form a new diocesan congregation, which would become the Missionaries of Charity. According to Mother Teresa, this congregation would be dedicated to supporting the hungry, the naked, the homeless, the crippled, the blind, the lepers, and all those who felt unwanted, unloved, and forgotten by society. Those who were considered a burden and rejected by everyone. Mother Teresa's generosity continued to expand. In 1952, she inaugurated her first hospice in Calcutta with the support of local officials, converting an abandoned Hindu temple into the Seagat facility for the dying, offering a free refuge for the less fortunate. This place was later renamed Nirmal Hriday, which means home of the pure heart. Everyone welcomed into this hospice received medical care and had the opportunity to spend their final moments in life with dignity, respecting their religious beliefs. Muslim faithful were given the Quran to read, Hindus were offered the sacred water of the Ganges, and Catholics were ensured the sacrament of the anointing of the sick. Mother Teresa referred to this experience as a dignified death, allowing those who had lived in poverty to end their lives surrounded by love and compassion. Additionally, she founded a hospice specifically for people suffering from leprosy, calling it Shantin Nagar, or City of Peace, The Missionaries of Charity, the organization she created, opened clinics in Calcutta specialized in the treatment of leprosy, providing medical treatments, dressings, and nourishment to patients. In 1955, Mother Teresa inaugurated Nirmala Shishu Bhavan, which means Home of the Immaculate Heart Children, offering a refuge for orphans and homeless youth. Her congregation saw an increase in new recruits and donations, which allowed for the opening of additional hospices, orphanages, and leprosaria across the Indian subcontinent. In the 1960s, Mother Teresa expanded the congregation's activities beyond national borders, opening a new facility in Venezuela in 1965 with the help of 5 community members. Similar homes were later established in Rome, Tanzania, and Austria, thus extending the network of global care. Throughout 1968 and the 1970s, Mother Teresa's organization extended its presence by opening new foundations in the United States and numerous countries across Asia, Africa, and Europe. Additionally, in 1963, the Brothers of the Missionaries of Charity were established, and in 1976, a contemplative branch of the Sisters was added to the congregation. Mother Teresa also welcomed lay people, both Catholic and non-Catholic, as active collaborators, extending the invitation to participate to the sick and suffering and to lay charity missionaries. Following the urging of various priests, in 1981, Mother Teresa created the Corpus Christi movement for priests, and in 1983, together with Joseph Langford, she founded the Missionaries of Charity Fathers, aiming to integrate the vocations of the Missionaries of Charity with the capabilities and resources of the priesthood. By 1997, the small congregation in Calcutta, which had started with just 3 members, had grown to include over 4,000 nuns. These women managed orphanages and hospices for AIDS patients and coordinated charity centers worldwide, offering support to refugees, the blind, the elderly, the disabled, alcoholics, individuals in extreme poverty and homelessness, as well as victims of natural disasters, famines, and epidemics. By 2007, the congregation of the Missionaries of Charity included about 450 brothers and 5,000 nuns operating globally. These missionaries administered 600 institutions, including schools, shelters, and other missions spread across 120 countries. Mother Teresa identified herself as Albanian by birth, Indian by citizenship, and devoutly Catholic by religious conviction. Although she was most active in India, her activities occasionally took her abroad for humanitarian tasks. For example, in 1971, she traveled to Belfast, along with 4 fellow sisters, during a particularly tense period in the local history. Despite some pressure from high-ranking church officials, who argued that missionary efforts should focus elsewhere, Mother Teresa was undeterred. Even in the face of a warm reception and strong support from the local community, in 1973 she and her sisters decided to abruptly leave the city. Many wonder if there were hidden reasons behind this sudden departure, or if Mother Teresa had insights that prompted her to prefer leaving over staying. These details will be clarified later on. In 1991, Mother Teresa extended her compassion by visiting the victims of radiation in Chernobyl and those affected by the devastating earthquake in Armenia. Additionally, she made a significant return to Albania, her homeland, where she opened a new center of the Missionaries of Charity Brothers in the capital, Tirana. By 1996, the number of missions operated by the Missionaries of Charity had reached 517 units in over 100 countries. The sisters of the congregation, significantly increased in number, worked in 450 centers globally dedicated to serving the neediest. Seeking comfort, Mother Teresa often turned to Jesus Christ, meditating on his holy face and heart. Although she dedicated moments to prayer and contemplation in silence, she secretly lived with an internal conflict, struggling with persistent doubts about her faith. For about 50 years, until the last days of her life, she openly shared her uncertainties about the existence of God and the pain caused by her crisis of faith. Did this make her distant from God? We will soon explore another lesser-known aspect of her, her experience of spiritual dryness, which manifested as a period of emptiness, similar to what other saints like Teresa of Lisieux experienced. James Langford observes that such doubts are common among saints and did not hinder the canonization process of Mother Teresa. A temporary turnaround occurred after the death of Pope Pius V in 1958. During a requiem mass celebrated in his honor, Mother Teresa experienced a brief but intense moment of renewed faith, which temporarily freed her from her state of spiritual pain. However, this period of relief was short-lived, and the sensation of spiritual emptiness reappeared after just a few weeks. For over 66 years, Mother Teresa confided her spiritual torments through letters sent to her confessors and superiors, including the Archbishop of Calcutta and the Jesuit priest Celeste van Exem, her spiritual advisor from the beginning of the Missionaries of Charity. In a gesture of humility, Mother Teresa requested that her letters be destroyed to avoid focusing attention on her rather than on Jesus. Despite her wishes, these letters were not destroyed and are now publicly available in the book Mother Teresa, Come Be My Light. In these letters, she confides in her friend Michael van der Peet, expressing how deeply Jesus loves him, while she herself feels oppressed by the silence and emptiness that surround her. Her words describe a soul in search of God. She seeks but does not find, listens but does not perceive, prays but the words seem to remain trapped. She implores Michael to pray for her, that she may fully surrender to Jesus. This internal struggle is mentioned in the first encyclical of Pope Benedict XVI's Deus Caritas Est, where the life of Mother Teresa is used to illustrate how prayer to God does not hinder humanitarian action, but, on the contrary, fuels it. Mother Teresa maintained that dedicating time to prayer and reading spiritual texts was essential to deepen one's ability to communicate with God. Although her congregation was not Franciscan, her admiration for Saint Francis of Assisi was profound, and his influence on her spirituality was significant. The Sisters of Charity recite the prayer of Saint Francis every morning during Mass as a sign of gratitude. Their service and vows reflect many aspects of the life of Saint Francis, who placed great emphasis on poverty, chastity, obedience, and commitment to Christ, dedicating his existence to the service of the poorest and the marginalized, including lepers. Thanks to the recognition of her humanitarian efforts, Mother Teresa was granted a diplomatic passport by the Indian government. She received numerous awards, including the Padma Shri in 1962 and the Jawaharlal Nehru Award for International Understanding in 1969. In addition, in 1980, she was awarded the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian honor in India. Her life and work were immortalized by Navan Chawla in his official biography published in 1992. Interestingly, some Hindus in Calcutta revere her as a deity. To celebrate the 100th anniversary of her birth on August 28, 2010, the Indian government minted a special 100 rupee coin, a symbolic amount representing what Mother Teresa possessed when she arrived in India. During the coin issuance ceremony, President Pratibha Patil praised Mother Teresa's impact, highlighting how she and the Missionaries of Charity, recognizable by their white saris with blue borders, had become a symbol of hope for many, including the elderly without support, the unemployed, the sick, and those rejected by families. Her charitable work was further recognized when, in 1962, she received the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Peace. The award celebrated Mother Teresa for her compassionate service to the poorest in a country not her own, contributing to the founding of a new religious congregation. Her global fame was solidified in the early 1970s, following the broadcast of the BBC documentary Something Beautiful for God by Malcolm Muggeridge in 1969, which was later followed by a book of the same name. These media helped to bring her mission and devotion to light, making her known to a global audience. During the filming of the documentary Something Beautiful for God, about the life and work of Mother Teresa, the film crew encountered significant difficulties due to poor lighting, especially in the house for the dying in Calcutta. Initially, they feared that the footage would be compromised and therefore unusable. However, once the footage was examined in England, it was discovered that the scenes were surprisingly well lit. Malcolm Muggeridge, the director, interpreted this phenomenon as a manifestation of a divine light attributable to Mother Teresa, while other crew members thought it was due to the use of a particularly sensitive film recently developed by Kodak. This experience had a profound impact on Muggeridge, who subsequently converted to Catholicism, strengthening his spiritual connection with Mother Teresa. During these years, Mother Teresa continued to receive significant recognitions. In 1971, Pope Paul VI awarded her the John XXIII Peace Prize, celebrating her commitment to serving the neediest as a concrete expression of Christian charity and actively promoting peace. Later, in 1976, she also received the Pacem in Terris Award. Her candidacy for sainthood proceeded rapidly, with praise not only from religious institutions, but also from governments and civil organizations worldwide. In 1982, Mother Teresa was awarded the title of Honorary Companion of the Order of Australia, recognizing her extraordinary service not only to the Australian community, but to humanity as a whole. The United Kingdom and the United States also bestowed numerous awards on her, culminating in the award of the Order of Merit in 1983. On November 16, 1996, Mother Teresa received a high honor from the United States, having been granted honorary citizenship. Albania, her birth country, also awarded her the National Gold Honor in 1994. These recognitions, along with the Legion of Honor and the Tiana Medal, generated some controversy. Indeed, Mother Teresa was criticized for her associations with questionable figures such as the Duvalier in Haiti, as well as businessmen like Charles Keating and Robert Maxwell, known for their dubious practices. Mother Teresa also intervened on behalf of Keating, writing a letter of clemency to the judge during his trial. Despite the controversies, Mother Teresa continued to receive honors, including honorary titles from universities in both India and the West. In 1978, she was awarded the Balzan Prize for her commitment to promoting humanity, peace, and brotherhood among peoples. She also received the Albert Schweitzer International Prize in 1975. A significant moment occurred in April 1976 during her visit to the University of Scranton in Pennsylvania, where she was awarded the Exhorter Medal for Human Service by the university president, William J. Byron. In front of an audience of 4,500 people, she urged everyone to connect with the poor in their own homes and local communities, both by distributing food and by spreading joy and love. Mother Teresa emphasized the importance of impoverished people in the spiritual growth of individuals, describing them as incarnations of Christ in the form of the suffering. Additionally, in August 1987, during another significant event in Scranton, she was awarded an honorary degree. On that occasion, she spoke to an assembly of over 4,000 students and members of the diocese, reiterating the importance of performing small acts with great love in serving the neediest. Throughout her lifetime, Mother Teresa was consistently among the most esteemed women in Gallup's annual poll, listing the most admired people. She often earned the top spot in these rankings, particularly in the 1980s and 1990s, and later in 1999, she was elected as the Personality of the Century by the same survey, winning by a wide margin. Despite this, her figure was not universally acclaimed. Mother Teresa faced numerous criticisms, especially in India, where opinions about her were often divided. Arup Chatterjee, a doctor who worked in the slums of Calcutta in the 1980s before moving to the United Kingdom, expressed significant reservations about her in his 2003 book. Chatterjee claimed he had never encountered the nun in the poorest neighborhoods he frequented and criticized her portrayal of Calcutta, considering it misleading. He accused her of glorifying suffering, exaggerating the results of her charitable work, and diverting funds and privileges that were available to her. Chatterjee also noted that certain issues, such as the repeated use of syringes, improved only after Mother Teresa's death in 1997. Bikash Ranjan Bhattacharya, who was the mayor of Calcutta from 2005 to 2010, believed that Mother Teresa's work did not truly benefit the poorest segments of the city. He criticized the tendency to glorify suffering rather than combat it with adequate care, and lamented that the image she spread depicted Calcutta as a place dominated by lepers and beggars. Despite the tensions, the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, a right-wing Hindu political party, clashed with Mother Teresa over her support for Dalit Christians. After her death, however, they changed their stance. They praised her and even sent a delegate to her funeral. Nevertheless, controversy did not entirely subside. They opposed the government's decision to grant her a state funeral. BJP General Secretary Giri Rash Kishore argued that Mother Teresa's primary loyalty was to the church and that her social work was only a secondary aspect. He accused her of favoring Christians and performing secret baptisms on dying individuals. However, a front-page editorial in the Indian magazine Frontline contradicted these claims, calling them unfounded and emphasizing that they did not diminish the general appreciation for her work. In Calcutta, in particular, she was celebrated for her compassion, altruism, energy, and courage. The article's author also criticized Mother Teresa's stance on abortion and her claim of not being involved in politics. In February 2015, Mohan Bhagwat, leader of the right-wing Hindu organization Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS, suggested that Mother Teresa's goal was to convert those she assisted to Christianity. In 1983, Mother Teresa had a heart attack in Rome while visiting Pope John Paul II. After another heart attack in 1989, Mother Teresa had a pacemaker implanted. In 1991, following pneumonia contracted in Mexico, she again struggled with heart complications. Although she proposed retiring from leading the Missionaries of Charity, the sisters of her congregation persuaded her to stay on through a secret ballot, and she agreed to continue in her role. In 1996, an accident caused her to fracture her collarbone. 4 months later, she was diagnosed with malaria, complicated by heart failure. Even after undergoing heart surgery, her health continued to decline. During a hospital stay for cardiac issues, the Archbishop of Calcutta, Henry Sebastian de Souza, convinced she was afflicted by malevolent influences, arranged for an exorcism with her consent. On March 13, 1997, Mother Teresa resigned as head of the Missionaries of Charity. She died on September 5th of the same year. Her body was laid out in an open casket at St. Thomas Church, allowing the faithful to pay their respects. The Indian government, recognizing her selfless service to the impoverished of all faiths in the country, organized a state funeral for her. During the funeral ceremony, Cardinal Angelo Sodano, representing the Pope, delivered a touching homily. The news of her passing generated profound grief and great sadness in both secular and religious communities worldwide. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, celebrated her as an exceptional individual devoted to the noblest causes, praising her tireless commitment to caring for the poor, sick, and marginalized, elevating her to a symbol of humanitarian service. Javier Pérez de Cuellar, former Secretary General of the United Nations, described her as an embodiment of the spirit of the organization and a beacon of peace in the world. The Vatican confirmed the miraculous healing of Monica Bezra, an Indian woman from an abdominal tumor. It is said that by applying a reliquary with the image of Mother Teresa to the painful area, a ray of light emerged and cured her cancer. However, Bezra's husband and some medical staff attributed the healing to conventional medical treatments. In December 2015, Pope Francis recognized another miracle attributed to Mother Teresa, involving a Brazilian man healed from multiple brain tumors in 2008. The verification of this second miracle began during World Youth Day 2013 in Brazil, and after thorough investigations, the Congregation for the Causes of Saints confirmed its occurrence. Mother Teresa was beatified in 2003, and following the recognition of these miracles, was canonized in 2016. On September 4th of that year, Pope Francis proclaimed her a saint during a grand ceremony in St. Peter's Square, attended by tens of thousands of people, government representatives from 15 countries, and 100 homeless people from across Italy. The Canonization Mass was broadcast live from the Vatican, allowing millions of faithful around the world to participate in this historic event. In Mother Teresa's hometown of Skopje, a week of celebrations was announced in her honor, which took place in Calcutta, India, the city where she dedicated her life to serving the less fortunate. The Missionaries of Charity organized a special Mass on September 4th, 2017, to celebrate the anniversary of her canonization. During this occasion, Sister Mary Prema Pirik, head of the Missionaries of Charity, proclaimed that Mother Teresa would be recognized as the principal patron of the Archdiocese of Calcutta. This announcement was made during a ceremony held at the Cathedral of the Most Holy Rosary on September 6, 2017. Archbishop Thomas de Souza confirmed on September 5, 2017, during a commemorative ceremony for the first anniversary of Mother Teresa's canonization, that she would be designated co-patron of the Archdiocese alongside Saint Francis Xavier. Shortly before her death, surprising revelations emerged about a lesser-known aspect of her personality. Despite her public image of serenity and love, Mother Teresa confessed to experiencing an intense inner struggle. She expressed feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction, a stark contrast to the joy and love she conveyed to others. She revealed feeling alone and perceiving God as distant, an anguish that led her to yearn deeply for His presence, even though she never truly felt it. These confessions showed a human and vulnerable side of a figure otherwise seen as a symbol of strength and unconditional dedication. Mother Teresa admitted fearing that she might not live up to Jesus' expectations and dreading His judgment. We want to express our gratitude to all our subscribers and viewers who have followed us on this engaging journey. Your continued support and the comments you leave are what motivate us to produce high-quality content. A special thanks also goes to the community of Mother Teresa's followers, whose stories and testimonies have enriched our understanding of these profound revelations. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this incredible journey. If this video touched you, we invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. Leave a comment to let us know what you think about the revelations about Mother Teresa. We are eager to read your opinions. See you in the next video, and remember, there's always more than meets the eye. May God bless and protect you always. Amen.